Today is March 26th. The Yankees opening day roster is finalized, and we're going to chat with Aaron Boone about some of the happenings. Let's talk Yanks. Weekly awards, fat line, streaming hot takes. Get your Yankees news from these two fine dudes. It's time for Talkin' Yanks. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake. Talkin' Yanks with old John Boy. John Boy and Jake. Hello and welcome to Talkin' Yanks, which is brought to you by SeatGeek. You can use the SeatGeek app to purchase tickets to opening day. The Yankees are coming to town, the Bronx. It starts Friday, next Friday. The next Friday in your brain, add a week to that, April 4th. Maybe there's tickets available. Use the SeatGeek app. They'll let you know. If you're not a Yankees fan and you're listening to this, go check out your team seats. Green dot means good value. Red means bad. Code YANKS gets you $20 off your first purchase. So check them out.
Brewers, Mets, no thank you.
Are there still more spring games? Because I was just about to say spring's over. If there are more games, I don't care about them. Spring's over.
I think it's done.
Officially done?
Yankees got on the flight to go to Houston. We got Nestor wearing the new, what are they, Apple glasses or whatever? Nestor's in 2008, and you guys are 2000 and late. It's obvious.
It's true.
There's some final tune-ups today.
Okay.
Some teams facing their own prospects, but like the Tigers and Rays are playing at the Trop.
So we get
Braves Twins are playing one more. Red Sox Rangers.
Wow.
There's kind of a
them.
lot. There's like 8 games.
Are those in spring training stadiums or are those in major league stadiums?
Some of them are in spring training stadiums. Like the
way.
Twins one is in Fort Myers, but some are like Red Sox Rangers are playing at Globe Life.
I mean, talk about
Cubs are in
2008.
Arizona.
Imagine playing spring games right now.
Rockies are in Arizona.
It stinks.
D-backs are in their home stadium, which is Arizona.
No one cares about any of that. I mean, for them.
Mariners Padres are in Petco.
Cancel those games.
Cancel those. Like we said.
A's Giants, Oracle, Dodgers, Angels playing one more.
Except the MLB stadiums. That's fun. I went to one preseason football game, and that was kind of like everyone's clearly not there for the game, but you're there for a good time.
Okay.
So I think those games are that.
I just need the season to come.
Yes.
And
It's close.
the roster's finalized. So
Well,
No, it's close.
what is not finalized?
Well, they haven't
they can
said in their
still
roster. They can still do
add
stuff.
and they've been talking about the young guys in their quotes, and they're like,
Beat
Everyone
reporters
within the
should make the
organization, this is who would make it if they don't do
if they don't do another move.
except Jemai Jones and Rortvedt.
There's
I
only
think
room for one right now.
They brought
I
both of
think.
them, and they've said they're waiting to see, basically.
It's just all the beat reporters tweeted like, this seems like what the 26 is right now. We'll get a tweet Thursday morning from the Yankees being like, this is the roster now that we've finished everything.
I'm very confused.
I wouldn't use the word finalized because nobody announced anything.
Well, yes, but like
But
Jones and Rortvedt are both going to make the team unless they make a trade.
Right. Or an ad, which they've been alluding to a lot.
Yeah, but we can't just act like that's going to happen right now.
But
out of camp.
you think there's a good chance for it to happen, right?
they've done it like almost every
Yeah,
year.
but I mean, it's going to be of the same caliber players as Jones and Rortvedt.
Right, but that's,
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
it was semantical. It's the roster's not finalized, but the group of guys, if the Yankees do not add anyone, but there's kind of a decent likeliness they will, this is your opening day Yankees.
Yeah, and it's a bit of underwhelming, more so than I thought. It was kind of right away. Just like the depth at pitcher, bullpen, and infield, we knew it was kind of shallow.
Right.
And then the roster comes out and a couple injuries, Kahnle, DJ, Cole, I think those are the 3. And you're like, oh, this put a lot of guys on this roster I was not expecting. Now, they shouldn't play a huge part. It shouldn't like change that much.
Right.
But it is just like, oh, another injury, and where do we go from here? Guys that you probably weren't guessing that were going to make it, or especially if it's your first time tuning in, Beater, the prospect we got in exchange for Gallo. He's on the roster. Nick Birdie, reliever that we knew they liked a lot.
Birdie Bus, been driving it.
He's on the roster. Heel is the 5th starter on the roster. So then you have right now the 3 catchers with Rortvedt there, which is a whole thing in and of itself. And then Jones, Jahmai Jones as an outfielder.
Second base outfield.
Second base / outfield makes it. And Oswaldo Cabrera moves to a starting infielder. Kind of wild.
Yeah, so the DJ and Peraza, 2 guys that we thought had a good chance to make the opening day roster. We saw them walking back Peraza a little bit because we were doing, kind of the reps game with him. If he's going to be on a team, he should be playing this year. He's still 23. To have him just be our pinch runner defensive replacement, that's probably a little wasteful. So his injury is really tough right now because I think if he wasn't hurt, he'd probably be the opening day third baseman, or it'd be one of the first questions we'd ask Boone, who's it going to be, which Oswald.
Yep.
Instead, Oswaldo, who finished spring strong, so we like that. He'll be your starting third baseman, and then the DJ Foot, which, again, we're going to ask Boone in a minute. We're not sure how they're going to manage the IL because we were doing our math, and they said he could be back for opening day, but we're not sure how that works. But, yeah, I mean, that's DJ, who was the backup, not the backup infielder, but he was the backup first baseman and starting third baseman. Peraza, who was the backup infielder for everyone. And now we're Oswaldo, who's supposed to be the super utility. So, yeah.
So with Oswaldo Cabrera starting now on the bench, you have no backup first baseman, no backup shortstop, no backup third baseman. You have no one on this bench that you can pluck and go put at first, third, or short, which is bizarre. You'd have to take Jones and drop him at second, move Glaber to
Who are you taking
third,
out?
and Cabrera to first if Rizzo gets hurt.
I'm trying to find it. I feel like I have memories of Jones ending up at third this spring.
I think this.
I might be wrong.
If first base goes down, I do think they'd throw a catcher over there potentially too.
Wells playing first.
Wells.
I guess it depends on if it's an inning or
I've
a full
seen
game.
Rortvedt with that first baseman glove on. You know what I'm saying?
Oswaldo went over there, but he's also the third baseman right now.
Yeah, you kind of need him on the left side.
Yeah. So that's bizarre. And I think
we only have 2 guys for the left side of the infield.
Yeah.
Weird.
There's 2 spots over there.
Yeah.
Well, Glaber has shortstop experience.
No, Van Meter played a game at third or games at third. Groshans played in Durban, but Jones didn't play any at third.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to
looking
see
through
in the
this game,
coming
lots of
hours.
fun.
Even if you watched our Talkin Yanks vlog, go check it out. It's on our Talkin Yanks YouTube channel. Zach did a great job. Some silly stuff in there, but also I don't know. We talked to Cashman, and Cashman and Boone were ready for action to happen in these next couple days because if you've been along for this Yankee roster ride with us, like Matt Duffy is available right now, which, again, should that change your outlook on the Yankee season? Not necessarily, but he's a guy that's been a part of a lot of MLB seasons. He can play, I think, third, second, and first if you need it, right-handed. Is there another Eddie Escobar, who's a switch hitter that can play those positions? Because, if you have Oswaldo as the backup shortstop, that's fine. I think we're okay with that. Then, you just need another infielder. So it'll be interesting to see if one of those transactions goes down in the next 48 hours.
Yeah.
Elvis Andrus is a free agent
Elvis
right now.
Andrus.
He can still play short. Played 52 games there last year.
It's no
3
one
games
that's
at
going to
third.
change this for the season.
No, your
It's
outlook.
just gonna
nobody that
change it
changes
for
how
like
you feel.
April.
Right.
Because right now, I would guess that's going to happen. And these are questions that aren't worth asking Boone about if you're curious, because he doesn't make all the roster moves, and he's just going to give a long-winded, non-answer.
Right.
So we're going to try and ask questions about the lineup and game and stuff that he does have say over. But my guess is that Rortvedt gets DFA'd after opening day, a la Florio last year, which we said for a while. And then the person they would call up would be Kevin Smith, because that's your left side of the infield backup. So after day one, Kevin Smith comes up. Or they go get a Matt Duffy or one of these people.
Yeah, there's some 40-man stuff there, too. Like, Kevin Smith's not on the 40-man, so you'd have to...
Well, the DFAing of Rortvedt.
DFAing of Rortvedt.
Right. But, Yorba Vivas is on the 40-man. Like, that would be one less transaction they'd have to make. So,
well, they're already DFAing
But they have to
Rortvedt.
DFA Rortvedt.
Right. But you don't necessarily need to call up Kevin Smith.
Yeah, but it's an expendable spot. It's not like you're not going to just DFA Kevin Smith, which you need to as well.
I don't know. They
might want Vivas to get like actual
him.
run. Yeah, I think they're searching right now to not do that. But they will have a left side of the infield person soon.
Jeter Downs.
Groshans is on that list. I would guess it's Kevin Smith.
Same, but bizarre fringe lineup stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, and then good for Beater, good for Birdie. The bullpen's real odd, like really odd. That's kind of thrown me for a loop. I know we're putting our trust in Matt Blake and what they're doing down there, but the most foreign bullpen we've had as far as names since we've been doing Talkin' Yanks.
Yeah. And I mean,
because like Ian Hamilton isn't a mainstay, and he's third.
Yeah, they're treating him that way, which hopefully he is.
It's Clay and Loizaga, and then it's a bunch of like fresh faces for Yankees.
Fresh faces for Yankees. Caleb Ferguson is an MLB reliever.
Yes,
Victor Gonzalez is an MLB reliever.
Yeah.
If you're a guy who like just follows Yankees outside of those two, it's
yeah.
And there's
Hamilton's the only one you
like
know
my
besides
mom is going to be tuning in, or someone that doesn't watch spring training and is going to be like, well, who like 8 times in a row.
And there should be a Kahnle asterisk, because that's what we're also going to find out. They're acting like he's going to be back very soon. Boone mentioned that last time we bantered with him. So, but yeah, that's the one place that the Yankees have deserved some wiggle. But yeah, I don't know, man. That's where, going back to when they signed DJ LeMahieu, the Gold Glove batting title guy, to be a bench piece, to now looking at the bench and currently seeing Rortvedt, Jahmai Jones, and Trent Grisham. Depth being tested with the Yankees early.
Yeah, the Rortvedt stuff is it's nonsense.
A little bit.
Not to quote Sabrina Carpenter, but that is just nonsense.
Always doing that.
Yeah.
some juice worth the squeeze arguments that you could have. Like this.
Like, why are you
have
5 catchers on the 40-man, and I think the other guys had like better springs and like have better.
It feels like you have the backup plan in
careers.
place for if.
So why are we so scared to lose Rortvedt?
You might not lose him anyway.
And you might not lose him. Yeah. So that's just.
It's the last piece attached to a certain deal.
It's a little.
My theory.
It's a little ridiculous.
Yeah, and the other ridiculous part before getting to Boone is, I don't know, if you look at the 40-man this year, like, if you believe in, I don't know, there's only a certain level of depth you can truly have. Like, they have a lot of major league outfield depth this year, like Greg Allen, Oscar Gonzalez. I know he just got hit by the pitch. Luis Gonzalez. Like, these are all guys that played at the major league level. So last year when we were begging for classically trained outfielders,
they got them.
Now we're looking for classically trained infielders.
Yeah. What a turn.
And we have 5 catchers on the 40-man.
It's crazy that didn't get like cleaned up sooner. I know we're anticipating one going down 3 days from now, but still 4.
Yeah.
Usually they have.
It's too many.
Usually they have 2.5.
It's too many. All right. So we do have some questions about Boone, mostly opening day related. Rotation, lineup, all that good stuff.
About time to get hype, people. And you can get hype over at the DraftKings Sportsbook. It's officially time for fans to head to the ballpark and root for their home team as the baseball season gets underway. Get in on the action early this season with our partners at DraftKings Sportsbook. Right now, all new customers who bet $5 will get $150 in bonus bets instantly. Don't forget to use our code YANKS. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. New customers use promo code TALKIN. Bet just $5 on any wager and get $150 in bonus bets instantly. That's promo code YANKS only at the DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
Welcome back Boone to the show, your second appearance of the season, your last appearance of spring, and opening day right around the corner. Some roster stuff has been set in place, so we have some questions there. And I don't know, season started. We have trivia for you at the end of the episode about opening day. So I hope you're excited for that. Start preparing your brain for your past opening day experiences. That's the only hint I'm giving you.
I sucked on opening day. I know that. I
did run into that. I was like, man, you didn't pick up many hits on first day of the season.
Walk-off sack fly.
Okay.
That's all I got.
Okay.
It's beautiful. Well, we'll get there later on. Does it feel good right now? You guys haven't put out the official roster, but from all the tweets and guys saying they've been told, as of right now, we kind of know who you're bringing, barring exterior moves. So does it feel good to have your guys?
Yeah, I mean, I do feel like there's still stuff that can go down, with tons of teams here as we get down to the final days before opening day. So you never really know, but do feel like, we've certainly settled in on our pitching and, feel excited and ready to go. And it's good to get through spring and tee it up now.
There's, the talk amongst Yankee fans is kind of maybe a veteran infield, or it's kind of funny looking back at last year. There's a lot of guys that are going to start the year at AAA in the outfield that have major league experience. I know Oscar got hurt the other day, and that's a bummer. But Luis Gonzalez, Greg Allen, a couple other guys. But the infield, it feels like there's a spot or two there. Are you involved in those conversations with Cashman at this point?
I actually just talked to him a little bit, so we'll see. I mean, we'll see what comes of it. I know they're considering and trying to work through a lot of different possibilities. But it's obviously a hectic time for all teams in the major leagues. So, with different out clauses and DFAs and options and off roster guys. So, it should be, I'm sure there'll be some things that go on just around Major League Baseball over the next 48 hours. And we'll see if we're one of them.
As it stands right now, the bench would be catcher, Wells or Trevino, depending on who's got the start. Grisham as your outfield. And then, as far as we know, Rortvedt and Jones made the trip and are part of that bench for opening day.
Well, Right. We got Oswaldo. You count as our third, right?
As a third baseman, yeah. Because if he's starting at third.
So Jemai and Ben are here. That would be those the two other spots. Yes.
Because of the thought we were like, I know you're searching to make moves and DJ's coming back, but that leaves you no option on the bench that can play the left side of the infield, which is a bit crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I think Jemai can go over there in a pinch, and certainly probably play third base. I mean, it's not exactly ideal, so we'll see what continues to go down.
Okay.
A slight extension of that, we were trying to do IL math before, and this has never really been a math pod, but it sounds like DJ's opening up on the IL, but it sounded like there was also some optimism for him coming back home opening day, which we were doing the math on that, and I think that's 8 days, but can you backdate the IL? Is that Korea?
I think the IL backdates 3 days.
Okay.
But, that being said, as DJ started to do a little more baseball things, like it still hasn't responded great this week. Like the first several days after, I noticed like just his gait walking in, it was improving. But then as he started to really move around, I know even go out and take some ground balls, it's just not even where it needs to be. That's why we made the decision to just go ahead and IL him. And he knew that. So he's staying back in Tampa to continue to work. And, we'll have to see. Again, it's not something that we're going to rush. And I think DJ's very much on board with all that he's dealt with from a foot standpoint here these last couple of years.
So is it a bone bruise from the foul ball? Is that what's going on with DJ?
Yeah. They're gonna MRI it again on Friday, which would be the 2-week mark, just to again look at it and just see how much of the swelling is out of there, because the swelling on the joint can, compromise the MRI a little bit. But yeah, he, and I knew right when he did it, just the way he reacted, not that he was reeling in pain or anything, but I know DJ, and just as tough as he is, and the way he just kind of quietly kind of stayed on his knee there, was concerning. Again, like, then I heard the negative x-rays, which I've broken bones before, and that x-ray came back negative, and you wait for that CT scan. So
is it the heel?
No, it was it's kind of on top of the foot.
Okay, because I was gonna say go get that ostranagum, whatever the hell it was that happened to Greg Bird, checked out, because he had
he found it off the top of the foot, kind of.
Okay. Hopefully it's not a broken bone and it's just a bruise and then it goes away. All right. Well, that's a bit of a bummer. Yeah. So a little more delayed than you guys were thinking originally with DJ.
Well, maybe we'll see. We're still in the just don't know with him. It's gonna, the foot and how he progresses is gonna tell us. So
Oswaldo Cabrera is the starting third baseman while DJ's out as of right now, right?
Yep.
On Oswaldo, he's been hitting a lot lately. At the end of spring, he looked good, but at the beginning of spring, there was a headline that said he's gonna bat lefty against certain lefty pitchers and righty against some. I was trying to find in spring. I couldn't find video of him batting righty against a lefty. There was like 5 lefty pitchers. He batted lefty against all of them. So what's the update there? Like against Framber opening day, is he batting lefty? Is he batting righty? Who's making the decision? Is that actually a thing that's happening where you guys are going to decide?
Yeah. So that's one of the things we'll sit down with. I think he took in an actual spring game. I think he took one right-handed at bat this spring, maybe 1 or 2. Obviously more behind the scenes, but we'll sit down with him and the hitting coaches and kind of each series determine what the thinking is with specific matchups. So that's how that'll go, and that'll be one of the things we talk about tomorrow.
Is that swing path numbers? Is it past results? What drives the decision there? Well,
first of all, Oswaldo drove it initially, as something that he wanted to focus more. He definitely feels that left-handed is his stronger side, which we would agree with. But he also, we feel like, can hold his own right-handed too. So we I didn't want that to totally go away, but I think he felt like, especially as he got to the back end of the season last year, where he was going through some struggles and trying to make different adjustments. I think if you talk to switch hitters, it's hard to maintain and maintenance 2 sides of the plate, even when things are going really well. So I think he just felt like he was moving the needle on some things and really wanted to focus on his left-handed swing, and then carry that into the winter. He did that a little bit in winter ball, wanted to get more left on left at bats, and then here early in spring as well. So it's something we'll continue to work through.
So last we talked to you on the field, you weren't a fan of my tie-dye shirt. I don't know if we want to close that loose end. That was kind of a shot fired. What was that about?
Yeah.
Just not your thing?
I like the simple gray hoodie you're rocking today.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's fair enough. And everyone,
for that matter.
Everyone did like that. Again, you greeted Joe's with the let's go. That's become like a Yankee fan rallying cry a little bit. But the other thing we were talking about was the 5th starter, and you guys announced Luis Gil. His stuff looked awesome this spring. We got a taste of Luis Gil a couple years ago. We're excited. So he's going to get that 5th start in Arizona?
Yep.
Okay, so, and it's currently listed that we're going Nestor, Rodon, Stroman, Clark, and then Gil.
Yes.
Okay. That's exciting. Do you guys, as the season goes, do you guys care about like splitting up the lefty starting pitchers? I mean, I know Nestor and Rodon have different styles of pitching, obviously, but I don't know. Yeah. There's a curiosity in the cat situation over here.
Yeah, I think in a perfect world you'd mix it up, but it's not something that I'm overly concerned about. If that presents itself as the schedule unfolds and you mix in an off day and there's a guy you want to, maybe get a seventh day or an extra day or work a guy on five, those will be things we work through. But in the end, it comes down to pitching well. So, but yeah, I would probably split them in an ideal world.
Does Luis Hill's neck tattoo rank in your top 3 player tattoos you would get?
um, there's a lot of good tattoo game out there. You know, Strosho's got some good ones. Yeah, I mean, you know what? I remember when I was playing, if you had too many tattoos, you had to cover them up. Like if you're a pitcher and stuff like that, it was deemed a distraction. So that's kind of
the heel one is distracting to me. If I was a batter and I was looking, I'd be like, what does that say? What's on his neck? So I think it's a good tactic by him.
Hopefully it is adding to his deception, because that heater is some kind of getting on some people.
That's always it's funny when LeBron James high school highlights come out and some of the kids don't know. The high school athletes used to have to cover their tattoos, so
That's
LeBron had the white patches all over him. Weird times.
With Heel getting the 5th starter gig and then Beater also making the team, I was a little surprised because I thought maybe he'd stay down and stretched out as a starter. Will that be a piggyback situation with Heel, or will you try to save a reliever that can give you length, Weaver or Beater after Heel?
No, not necessarily.
Okay.
I mean, we view Luis as being able to go out there just like any of our pitchers and hopefully have the ability. If he's rolling, he's rolling. I think the part of the calculus was we wanted to have as much length as possible in these first 2 turns through the rotation, because you got, to varying degrees, guys are kind of in that 80, 85, 90 pitch in their buildup. So, and then, typically we have an off day after our opening day. This year we play 7 straight out of the gate. So just to have that little bit of extra coverage. But, in Beater's case, it's not just coverage. Like, he's pitched really well and looked really well. Like, I could see him coming in and having the ability to shut some teams down for a few innings, and in the early going, while you're still kind of building that tolerance for relievers too, like, you kind of need to lean on the whole staff. So, Clayton Beater could find himself in a leverage spot, getting the ball to Clay Holmes on a given night. If we've used Hamilton and Lowe and in a winning situation, Beater could find himself in there. So I could see Clayton early on here pitching in a lot of different roles, just depending on where we are and how we've used our starters and relievers, the previous days.
Last we talked to you about Heel, and I like that you're saying it's just he's got the start and go get it because you're stretched out. But you did mention innings being, coming off injury. Can he give you 150 innings this year? And that might play into the decision to start him the season as a starter. When does that creep in? Is there a number that Cashman and co set and you got to be weary of? Do you just not have it in your head at all right now, and later on you start, oh shit, we're getting close?
Yeah, no. Our pitching group feels strongly that, and I feel like we're moving the needle, getting a little bit wiser on how you build pitchers. And, I think our pitching group feels like it's case by case. And the way you're able to measure what guys are doing, not only obviously monitoring their stuff and how specific you can measure their stuff start after start, but in between, there's ways of measuring through, force plates, things that, man, where is this guy physically? Is he in a, danger zone of, now getting to a point to where he might injure himself? I think if a player's built properly and built up properly and routined properly, I don't think there really is a set innings limit. That said, we might get to a point where it's clear that he is hitting that innings limit, and I think all the stuff that these guys look at will give you a good idea of that, but not going in necessarily looking at an innings limit.
If I missed it, my bad. But what was the differentiator between Hill and Beater getting the starter or reliever role?
Well, I would expand that umbrella to Will Warren's and Cody Petitte's, and I think Luis just kind of overwhelmed us with, obviously we've always liked his stuff, but where was he going to be coming into spring training? Just from a polished standpoint and a ready to go. And, I kind of looking back now, like I sent him out early, and, I think he was a little surprised. He was probably I optioned him early over to minor league camp. And part of the calculus was we just wanted to get him as consistent and regular, uninterrupted work as possible. And that may have included bringing him back over if the schedule lined up with other pitchers. But I mean, he just kicked the door in. I mean, it was like, yeah, not only is the stuff overwhelming, and that's, clear with Luis Gil, and, he's always had that. But just how well he pitched and how polished he looks, and how far along and how much more consistent the secondary is. He kind of said, no, I'm taking this. I mean, with the way he's gone about things, and credit to him, man. We're excited to insert him and, expect him to go out and do well for us.
When we were at down in spring training, we saw Kahnle throwing a bullpen on the mound, I think, to Rortvedt or some other guys. What's his timeline? Is he going to join you on the homestand, the road trip? Do you know, or are we still up in the air?
Yeah, well, pitcher's the 15-day IL backdated, so I don't think he's eligible till, I don't know what that would be. Would it be the end of, I think we play the Marlins after we play the Blue Jays at home, I think, and then we go to Cleveland, right? I think he's eligible when we go to Cleveland. But so he's had a couple of lives to this point. That's gone well. So we'll just see. We'll see, again, just how he continues to progress, get into games. And, again, with Tommy, like, don't want to rush him too much. Like, and that was kind of the conversation, that I had with him probably a couple weeks into spring training, because his winter throwing program was slowed a little still by his shoulder, that, like, we don't want to race to get back to, day one, if you're not fully, haven't had that kind of full spring that you've had, especially coming off Tommy John a couple years ago, where he, and then last year, gets cut short. It's like, we need Tommy at his best. And is that going to be at the start? And then if we rush that back, you almost feel like you're inevitably setting yourself up to have a pause in the season at some point. So we got that buy-in from him to just, hey, let's make sure we build properly, get the right amount of bullpens, the right amount of lives in some games. And then that way you're ready to kind of come back, and we're not, overly having to protect them, with pitch, day off, those kind of things. So we'll see when that day is. But I think the eligibility is around the Cleveland series.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Hit him with a little trivia, Jim?
Yeah, you ready for some opening day trivia?
Wow. I don't feel like I'm going to be good at this, but let's go.
Well, first, I just got to give you two tidbits. The Yankees are 5-1 with Boone as their manager on opening day, so that's pretty nice.
Okay.
Before you came, they had lost 6 straight.
Really?
Yeah. So
Treat every day like opening day.
The one caveat is the Yankees are 5-0 when they homer in the first inning on opening day, and 0-7 when they don't.
I remember that last year. That's right. I remember that being a big deal, and Judge hit the homer. It's like, oh my gosh.
So just whisper, Soto, Judge, Glaber if he's at the top. Just whisper.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give you a pitching line of a starting pitcher on opening day that either you managed or you were their teammate.
Wow. Okay.
You think okay, ready?
No, I'm not optimistic.
All right.
Go ahead.
6 innings pitched, 0 earned runs, 11 strikeouts. Three hits, 2 walks.
Sabathia.
No, but he did also allow 0 earned runs. He was 5.2. Your very first opening day.
Oh, as a manager?
Yeah. Oh, you were guessing Sabathia as a teammate.
No. Yeah, I was guessing him as a teammate.
Wow, he's on both lists. No, that wasn't a good line for CC that day when the one he
what team?
It was against it was a home game against the San Francisco Giants.
Oh. So Garrett Cole last year.
Start of his Cy Young campaign.
Bingo.
Yeah. Jeez, how'd I miss that?
All right, here's the best start that on opening day by a pitcher. It was 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 3 strikeouts, and it was in the mid 2000s.
It was for us?
Yes.
For my team?
Yeah, your teammate.
Mid 2000s. Kevin Millwood?
Ooh.
Pitchers got something in common with me.
He's little?
He's handsome, and he has the same first name as me. Skip.
Westbrook.
Yeah. Actually, it was a losing effort, but it was a hell of a start.
Jake Westbrook, sneaky, really good pitcher.
Sinker.
Oh, had a sinker. He was one of those guys that when people would get to third base sometimes, it'd just be like, man, sinker's so nasty. Like just always be like, dang, that kind of reaction.
Yeah.
Jake Westbrook, Danny Grace would get that reaction too. Who was, our closer in Cincinnati I came up with. He would get that reaction some too.
All right, how about this hitting line? 3 for 5 with 2 homers and 4 RBIs.
Not me. Not
you. Not you.
That's Giancarlo off J Happ in Toronto. I do remember that.
His first game, yeah. That was fun.
Yeah.
And then there was a real weird opening day, 07, you pinch hit and on the Marlins.
I think I flew out in RFK. I do remember that because it was my first time kind of not as a starter.
Yes, but it was deep to left field, according to Baseball Reference, and it was a sac fly. So pretty good fly out.
Oh, sac fly. So I'm a sac fly machine on opening day.
Yeah.
It's an RBI.
You pinch hit for Dontrelle Willis.
The train. All right.
RBI every game.
So your
season.
managerial stats on opening day are great, 5-1. Your player stats,
so great. What? I'm like 2 for 20.
Yeah, I don't know. I was going through it trying to find your best opening day and see if you remembered any details about it, but it was a tough find. So I pivoted to players you managed or teammate or were teammates with.
Yeah.
Took a little bit to get going.
Yep.
Well,
all right.
We did want to bring back one of the favorite segments from last year, Guess That Lineup. And so,
okay.
You can see what kind of reaction you want to give. I mean, we're leaning Gleyber Torres leading off playing second base.
So am I.
Okay.
We're leaning Juan Soto batting second, playing right field.
Yeah, we'll see.
Okay. Judge, center field. And then you got Rizzo, because you got the balance you've always dreamed of. Rizzo at first, batting fourth. Stanton behind him, righty, fifth.
Probably not. With Framber, I might flip those guys the first day.
Okay.
And have Stanton behind Judge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Might,
yeah.
Okay.
Stanton hits Framber really well, especially if he flips him a curveball. Stanton crushes those. And then Verdugo in left. Volpe, shortstop, batting seventh.
We'll see. I might flip that too.
Verdugo and Volpe.
Okay.
All right. AVs, the two AVs.
Yeah.
Oswaldo Cabrera, 8th. And then the catcher, I don't know if you've made your decision yet. I don't want you to publicly say who you're going to start before you tell the guy, because it is interesting that you have, it's nice that you have the lefty on the bump. And Trevino gets it. Because I'm guessing you want to start Trevino, the vet, on opening day.
Yeah.
Lefty pitcher.
Lefty
We'll
pitcher.
talk about it.
All right. I have one question for you that you don't have to answer, or you can. It's up to you. We've been discussing this. Close game. You have the lead.
Locked in on my reaction. He's locked in.
Yeah. Close game. You have the lead. You want to improve the defense. Trent Grisham goes out to center field. What are you doing? Are you sliding Judge to right and leaving Verdugo in left?
No, I'm not doing that. I'll only do that. I'll do that some days to where I want to get, if say we have a lead late and it's more about getting Soto or Judge off their feet a little bit, I might do it that way. And especially with Juan, obviously he's played every game last year. I think he likes it that way. So I'll pick my spots with him where, he gets that last at bat after 7, we're leading. That could be like his day off, getting those last 2 innings off. So I might do a little bit of that, but I don't plan on defensive replacing late in games.
Okay, cool. Good to know. Appreciate the answer. All right, enjoy opening day. We'll see you after the Houston series completes, in between. I don't know when.
Yeah.
Like while you're in Arizona.
In AZ.
Yeah, being AZ.
Okay.
All right.
Enjoy. Thanks,
Good luck,
Boone.
Boone.
Hey, sorry for the late arrival. Take
All
care,
good.
guys.
See ya. That was Bantering with Boone, episode 1039 of Talkin' Yanks. We finally got Bantering with Boone the day before opening day. That was a good combo. He's answering questions pretty nice. There's some tidbits, some fun stuff in there to chat about, Jake.
Yeah, he almost feels... I don't know if this is still preseason coming out of spring training or if he's heard us do like the, hey, I don't know if you're going to answer this, but it feels like he's a little more open.
Yeah. As open as he can be.
Yeah.
He's not going
Some
to...
stuff he actually doesn't have an answer.
He's not going to tell us the lineup because he doesn't know what's going to happen. He plays that game in his head a lot. Nothing's for certain, which is wild. Can you throw my screen up real quick, Beebs? Because if anyone's watching this at home, maybe they went and Googled it themselves, maybe they didn't. But that neck tattoo is the real deal.
It's not bad.
It says "God bless me," but right across the base of the neck.
That's a
throat.
That's a power.
I mean, if he becomes a stud pitcher, that's a Halloween costume.
Yeah. As I was going the next level, we're definitely going to see the Talkin' Yanks repost of someone's Instagram who also gets that tattoo as a Yankee fan, which, hey, that's a level of Yankee fandom I'm still waiting on. Speaking of Yankees legend Alex Rodriguez is co-hosting The Deal from Bloomberg. He's co-hosting it with Jason Kelly. They're talking to big-time athletes. Hey, if you listen to this, you probably listen to podcasts. And A-Rod's been in that game for a little bit. And they're talking to big-time athletes and entertainers, executives. Maria Sharapova, Michael Strahan, and I think the Derek Jeter one. I think that just happened. If you're familiar with him. Used to be the left side of our infield. Different look this year. The Deal takes you behind the scenes into the sports world of media and entertainment. Dives into wins, losses, and lessons learned along the way. From Bloomberg Podcasts and Bloomberg Originals, you can listen to The Deal on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts. Click the link in the description, and let's talk some Yankees baseball.
Baseball. Where do you want to start, Jake? What did you like? Or what are you interested in?
I'm going to fade the fade on this that I think some people might think. I like that he called me small. Because, I think if we didn't have a level of respect and getting near friendship, I don't think he would make that joke. So I'm glad we're getting there.
Nice. He didn't call you small. He said little. It's different.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like he's seen the whole thing. What did I like? I don't know.
Okay.
What did you like?
I liked his answers to with his face, the bench. So if
Right.
you're not watching on YouTube, when I was like, you have no one that can play the left side on the bench, and he was just kind of like,
That's not ideal.
nodding his head and like,
His eyes told a story.
yeah, like, yep, yeah. Well, Jones can play in a pinch, but yeah. And I think he also knows like this isn't going to be long.
We're probably getting a body.
You would hope so. But I mean, you're not going to get any like winner, so you still
Right.
need DJ back.
History tells us a move is coming.
And then I think with the DJ injury, he's now off. It's going to be short term. It's going to be nothing, and he's just fully like no idea because we tried to ramp him up, it didn't go well.
Yeah, I mean,
So that seems like
big follow up MRI Friday. Look for that update.
Yeah, so that's bad news. Some of the managerial decisions as far as bullpen and lineup goes were interesting. Like, you know, finally having the chance to go righty, lefty, righty, lefty, righty, lefty, but with the lefty pitcher saying, no, I'll probably go Judge Stanton back to back, flip Rizzo at the end. Because you kind of play that game for the relievers at the end too.
Right, and especially opening day where Framber's not going to go 100 pitches. I kind of like that a little later in the season, and I guess we'll see what version of Stanton we're getting.
Yeah.
I kind of like it. You know, you're starting with a lefty. Stanton has clipped him before, both on curveballs, I think you said.
Yeah,
But-
he's 4 for 8, and the 2 like big hits were curveballs. The others are sinkers that he kind of like just like chops down the first baseline.
if there's a day to have Stanton up in the lineup, opening day versus a lefty, and you know Verdugo is a little lesser against lefties as well. So I did kind of like that. Okay, we're gonna Stanton will bop up one, Rizzo bops down one, and that'll also naturally bop Verdugo down one. I'm okay with that. Like at least I get the thought process.
Yeah,
There's
and
a lefty on the mound, so we're moving up the righties. Boom.
There's probably a spot in this order you were going to have
That's
to go back to
baseball.
backhandedness. And I think Jimmy might be good at finding this quickly. It felt like there were a good number of games towards the end of spring that it was Judge Stanton 3-4. I don't remember if those were just when a lefty started or
Just spring
in
training,
general they were
too.
doing some of that and just like trying stuff in spring. But I know
Rizzo-
at one point there was a conversation I had with some social team guys that were like, there's been doing that when
Rizzo missed a chunk of games.
It was
too.
while Rizzo was in.
Okay.
I remember we were talking about it.
spring training.
The spring training stuff. I don't know if just a lefty was starting.
Yeah, the Mets game that we were at was Soto to Judge Stanton, but Rizzo wasn't in.
Yeah,
So
but I
you'd
don't
have
remember
to-
what the original.
You'd have to go
lineup
back
was.
a couple days.
I did. Also, I mean, if you want to talk about being a manager, talking to the media 101, Boone said he's not going to do defensive replacements, and then he said if Soto has his at bat in the 7th or later, he might replace him.
But it's not.
That's like blowouts.
He was basically saying, it's to get Soto off his feet. And he said if he had his 4th at bat before
Right.
the 7th. So he doesn't want to take a 4th at bat away from Soto. And I get that.
Yeah.
You want to give that dude the start every day and his 4 at bats. Like he's earned them. He's a career player. So, and it wouldn't be for defensive reasons. It would be to get Soto off his feet for a little bit so he can continue
Right.
to start him.
It's just
And
rest.
That's just repackaging the gift.
And yeah, the player's a better defender,
Yeah, and yeah, it does upgrade
but
us
Soto
out there.
plays every day.
Yeah.
But I
So
do
that's pretty good.
appreciate him saying
Yeah.
that it's leaving Soto in is more of a priority because you wouldn't want to take the bat out of Soto's hands if he's
It
if he's coming up
Yeah.
in the 8th.
It didn't sound like substitutions are going to happen like just to have better defense.
Yeah,
Like they will keep.
because it's a really
Soto's
tough thing to
bat
do.
in a blowout situation. Whichever of Judge Soto they think they would value 2 innings off their feet more.
Yeah, on
Sounds
the
like we'll come out in a
on
blowout.
March 20th they did it with Rizzo batting 5th. So they could just like that. Interesting.
Yeah. Or if that's just the difference in a versus lefty versus righty lineup.
Yeah.
That once we actually get going, and we'll learn that pretty soon.
Who was the starter here for the Gonzalez?
He's a lefty.
Marco Gonzalez lefty. So yeah, they did do that in spring at least once.
Okay. Yeah, the other thing, again, this is a little bit of Jakey philosophy, and I really think this is only early year philosophy for them, but I like the adaptation, is they're coming into the season with 2 long relievers. So whether a starter has a bad day, or, in theory, if you could win a blowout game, you could have Luke Weaver or Clayton Beeter go out there and eat innings to start the year and then save your bullpen the next day.
More than 2, right?
I guess depends on your definition of a long reliever, right?
Like Weaver and Beeter are starter stretched.
And they've kind of said Hamilton and
Loaizaga are also
2-inning guys.
But they're also our 8 pen, so I'm trying to save them currently.
I don't think that the way I interpreted what he was saying was that be ready for all the guys to pitch the 7th and the 8th, and they're not doing. There's Holmes, and then there's the rest of the guys that they want to all be able to do 2 innings. He said Beater.
He quoted Johnny too.
Johnny, Beater, Hamilton.
They said like if Hamilton and Loaizaga were used the day before.
Okay. Well then
they hold Hamilton and Loaizaga, but I think they have them as 2-inning
options.
Ideally 2-inning outing guys.
And Loaizaga said a couple weeks ago, especially in the first half, their plan is he will pitch 2 innings when he pitches, and then have 2 days off, 2 innings, like the original King workload.
Yeah, which is.
I guess
just be prepared to see some guys in the pen that you're like, oh, really? Him here? Because they're just going to test it out early on.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He definitely said Beater in some high leverage spots will happen.
Which is a bit crazy. Now, Birdie,
Exciting.
He's not stretched out. He's a 1-inning guy.
Yep. And he's a lot of career injuries, so I think he's 1 inning.
Did they stretch Hamilton out in spring?
Yeah.
I think Birdie
decently his first he didn't throw 30 ever, but that's fine. He's a reliever, so stretching him out. But he had 1, 2, 4 of his 7 were 2 innings.
Birdie, Ferg, and Gonzo. I think you're looking at 1 inning, but maybe not. We'll find out.
Yeah.
That can change fast.
And Weaver, what's his role? It's going to be very interesting seeing how he navigates the pen. He's long too.
Yeah.
So
I assume he's a more pure long reliever than the other options, but
him and Beater for sure. But also, if one of the starters gets rocked, it's Weaver or Beater in Houston taking the ball in the 3rd, or the 4th. Which odds are happens. I don't think all 4 starters are going to go through Houston and get through 5 innings fully. Just, I hope they do, but odds are you're going to need to go to Beater early in one of the games.
Yeah, that's why, again, I like having those stretched out guys. For 80 pitches, if you have a struggling good day, that could be 3.2,
Yeah, and they can still.
And it's against Houston, so someone will.
And they're stuck. They can't. Can they call anyone up? They would need an injury or a DFA to call another bullpen guy up.
Depends who the guy is.
Yeah.
If they've been optioned down and they're already on the 40-man, they have to wait 10 days.
What if they're not on the 40-man?
Not on the 40-man, you just have to do the corresponding 40-man move.
Okay, interesting. Well, there you go.
And if a guy gets hurt, that can negate the 10-day rule as replacing due to injury.
True. All right. How many eps do we have before opening day? 1?
There'll be one the morning of opening day.
Hype.
Or maybe afternoon by the time it's out.
And we'll be live streaming a watch along on opening day.
At Jam Baseball YouTube channel.
And it won't get rained out because they're playing in Houston.
Yankees are going to play.
Boom, boom. All the 1 o'clock games are looking like they're going to get rained out, which is crazy.
It's only one 1 o'clock game. And
so there'd be no 1. That's so stupid. All right. See you guys.
3
Go
o'clock
Yanks.
games look murky.
They'll make the Mets play.
Tell them, Grams.
Go Yankees.
I don't know if they will. Friday's available.
Yeah, they don't fuck around with that.